Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, PhatPastor here. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Man, is this week a busy week for me and Middle Tennessee Drone Racing and Southern Kentucky Multi-Rotor and the flight crews of those. We were in a parade Tuesday. We're setting up UWL quads to 1 a.m. in the morning this morning and getting ready for the race. And tomorrow I've got work to do, and then hopefully I can get done in enough time to put something out very important to the members on the channel. So keep watching. Let's see how the chat is going. Hey, we got Mary Outland said, hey, so jump on in with your chat. We have a few people earlier. Can't show them because it was before the stream, but it was Oops FPV, Pastor Larry, and McFlies was all on. And is the stream going? My phone's showing it as, there we go. Show them because it was before the stream, but it was Oops FPV. Sorry about that. To turn my volume down. So yeah, you've got a lot going on. This stream, special guest tonight is Mondo from 533. So he'll be joining us a little bit later after he gets the kiddos to bed. And have your questions ready. He's not going to stay on long. I'm not going to belabor the stream tonight because I've got a lot I've got to do in preparation for the race this weekend. You may have seen that there's been some races in the South that's been canceled and all due to, they're saying that we're going to be getting the rain from this hurricane or whatever that's come up. But our race is indoors inside a gymnasium. So the worst case scenario there is the power goes off and we race without a timer or something. But I'm hoping this will be the first time we're going to have to look at the venue's router. They said that they're going to give me access, the people of Soki access to the router. So hopefully Saturday's race will be streamed. So we're hoping that's what we're hoping it comes out there. Is Jarvis isn't working, is he? What's going on? He was working earlier in test, I promise you guys. Let me pop the chat out again and see what his problem is. That's I gotta close it first and then pop it out again. Pop out the chat. Let's see. Now, are you working, Jarvis? Click to unmute. Right, no, I don't want to type it there. Let me type it here in the actual. Oh, I think he's working. Don't get him stirred up. He gets mad easy, guys. Don't get him stirred up. So There, I see. There we go. So, all right. Tonight I do have a little bit of mail call tonight, and I'm going to show off some things. No video. No video. It's showing video on my everybody else seeing video? Can you see my, look at that, look at my fingers, look at there, it looks like the on air is on top of my fingers. Look at that, that's weird. So I see it. I see, yeah, I have video. Fun per vote. Hey. But the chat now, look at this. Would you look at this now? But the chat's not updating now. So let me close it and repop it out, because obviously YouTube is doing the thing. There we go. Hi. All right, now it's showing up on the screen again. There we go. Yeah. We got it back now. There we go. Mr. Casey Quadtronics is back from the nether regions and says, hey, everyone. So I've got, now that's not exclamation point. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's Mac or my version of speech to chat, but it don't want to let me use exclamation point. It wants me to use exclamation point chat or exclamation point. You know what I'm saying? That little thing with a dot. Yeah, exclamation point. Speech is what it wants me to put there. So I go to custom, and it's, well, I take what I can get. So all this is a learning curve for me and all. But I'm excited tonight. Get your questions ready for Mr. Mondo. He'll probably be joining us in about an hour, I'm thinking it is. So, I'm seeing back here in the lag on my feed in right off this monitor right here, and me waving and getting the on air to look like it's on top of my fingers. So. Yes, I'm a child like that. You see what I did? That does it. Yes. Yeah, I'm easily amused. But yes, it is it. To me, I am in, at least. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that FPV is in a lull. It's in a bad spot. It's in a low place, or whatever. For me, it's not. If I could get 3 more days a week, to have a 10-day work week, and some of you are like, bite your tongue, I could get a whole lot more done. And there's just a lot of things going on that I'm excited to be a part of, and some big announcements coming. For the members, if you're not a member of this channel, I love you. You don't have to be. I thank God for all the subscribers and everybody. We're inching up there to 5,000 subscribers. I think we gained around 100 from the parade. I'm going to show you some video here in just a little bit of the parade, and but you're going to want to be a member tonight. It might be 1 o'clock in the morning before I get what I have for you guys posted. I am actually back to editing videos, so yeah, stay tuned for that. There's some reviews coming up, and some pretty neat things on the horizon. You can be a member for as little as $1.99 a month. links down in the description for that. Or if you want to go as high up as $9.99 a month, all of that helps. I don't receive the money personally. All of that goes back in to. I'm getting some audio picking up somebody. Hang on, I think somebody's in Discord. Yeah, mute your microphones if you're in Discord, people. Please. That's all right. We got some people waiting on Discord. They want to ask Mr. Mondo some questions when he comes on. See you right now. We got a trade. He's one of the guys that's on there. He's an employee of 533. We may go to him in just a second when I pull out the UWLs, and you guys can ask him questions about it. You might see I've got the DeLorean lit up here for, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's actually lit up with the doors up, spinning. So I had someone ask me if I would do that. Most of y'all know I drive a black Jeep. I have a sticker on the back of it that says I'm the black Jeep of the family, and yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question for Mondo. All right, man. Probably Skip. That might be a good question for Skip. Well, let me show a few things, and then we can bring Skip on in the audio, or if he's ready, if he can jump on with some video too. I haven't had a chance to talk to him coming into it, so we can. But my understanding on that, not from talking to him, but just from watching the video, is Skip either built it or had a hand in building it or repairing it when it crashed. So that thing looked pretty awesome, didn't it? It did. And we will. Yeah. Now see, those are cool. I'd like to fly it, but I don't think I'd want one, because me, I am content with micros, and just like they are, and as little as I get to fly, I want to fly something that I prefer. And I don't prefer. I've got a 7-inch right here. This is an iNav 7-inch, which is probably going to go up for sale, trade, something like that. And most likely this, yeah. And this is a 5-inch with like a gazillion LEDs on it. That's. Oh, so that was your frame that Evan broke, huh? Yeah. Said almost. Sky Dozer said, are y'all hearing Jarvis? Okay. If not, let me know, and I will turn him on. Make sure you're hearing him. You're not hearing Jarvis.
No.
No Jarvis. What about now? You should be hearing Jarvis.
I've flown 700 millimeters. A 595 millimeters used to be my daily flyer. Lol.
Bet you hear him now, though, right?
Still no Jarvis.
Yes. He just read no Jarvis. No Jarvis. All right. So, let me see. Skydozer said that he almost ordered the frame.
Echo.
He echoes. Bad? Or no?
Yes, Jarvis.
I'm echoing. But if I do this, you don't get anything, right? Or do you? You still get my voice here? I
have a delay.
I literally did a sound check before I went on.
Now there is Jarvis.
Jarvis and my voice? My voice?
Still got your voice.
Still got my voice. Okay.
Yes.
Desktop audio needs to be. I'll just remind me of this stuff.
Still here.
Desktop audio needs to be.
Well.
I have a delay in my voice. Yeah, I know that there's a delay for the stream, but my voice don't match. Look. Is it behind or something?
Only your voice is echoing. Echo actually.
My voice is echoing.
Yeah.
That's probably because I need to mute my mic. There we go. I turned it off of... Can you hear me at all now? I had to mute myself on Discord, and when Mondo comes on, I will pause Jarvis. Can you guys hearing me now? On the stream. Should be hearing me on the stream.
Does Casey have the stream open?
Yeah,
Still
Casey,
echo.
Yeah, Casey's probably got the stream open.
Still echo.
Mute your
Or
mic.
does he have a headset on?
We can still hear you, but you're echoing.
You can still hear me, but I'm echoing. What about now? You shouldn't. There's only one audio source. What about
I would
now?
just drop Jarvis.
Okay. Nah. I like Jarvis.
Jarvis changed it.
Jarvis changed it all, huh? Well, that's because I turned desktop audio on. But it should be working because it's showing as I talk. The desktop audio is doing a little thingy. So, we'll see.
Echo
Here.
gone.
Echo gone. Is everything good after the
Gone.
fireworks? After the fireworks. When you guys see the fireworks, let me know if everything's good. All that I
No,
have
it's
on is
fine.
desktop audio. Everything else is silenced. If I go to a different... Let me jump over to Discord real quick and see if it messes everything up on the audio. Is the audio still good here? Or does it suck?
All good.
Still good there? And all right. And the Discord... I literally did sound test 7,000 private and everything sounded good, and then I come live and it screws up. So that's how it goes. Bench, let me check the bench. There's nothing on the bench right now, but I want to make sure. Can you hear me now? Everything's still good. Sure. Yeah, we're getting an echo through you now, Casey. Probably mute your mic until you're ready to say something. There you go. All right. So let's go back. I want to show you guys some things. I want to show you, yeah, let me read the names of the people in the chat. How about that? In the chat. How about that? We've got Mary Outland. We got Oops FPV. We got Sky Dozer. We got Atreides. We got Fun Per Volt. Got Mr. If I read them again a couple times, that's okay, because I am ADHD. Skydozer, I think I read that already. Atreides, and yeah, I think that's everybody that's in the chat right now. It's analytics are showing me that we have 11 viewers right now. If you would, while you're here, do it early.
Hey, good
push it out to
evening,
more
everyone.
people. Smash that like button for me, if
But
you
Oops
will.
VPV, hey brother, how you doing?
He's alive. Today's the first time I've talked to him in like, what, 2-3 months at least. So, and I think he said he's had 5 surgeries since then. But
Hey Ops.
so, how's it going, Mr. Atreides? Let me show some video, some footage of the parade, and then I want to show you guys some of that footage.
Finally back alive. How are you doing, brother?
Let me jump over here. There we go. Look at that. It's like I already set it up. Let's put that in the background, and here, there we go, just in case. This was filmed from my father-in-law, who was standing. Like I said, we did a parade. It was really a test run.
I didn't even know you were having surgeries, man. I am so glad you're good.
Let me see, why didn't that show? Finally back alive. YouTube's doing its thing, guys. That last one there didn't show because I pulled up another window. See what it does? I think this is what people mean when they say that
Is
YouTube's
that a Jeep
messing with them.
Compass?
No, it is a Jeep Patriot. Pop out chat. There we go. Somebody type something. Let's see if it updates it. Okay, that's working too, so good.
Thank God.
Oh.
Face red droopy eyes, text green game over, face green smiling, face orange frowning, eyes purple crying, eyes purple crying.
Oh,
Charged
wow.
up waterproof quad today. No storm. So just flew in drizzle. Lol.
There you go.
Yes, and
go.
have a few left to go, so thank you a lot.
Yep, there we go. All right, guys, I am going to jump over here to this screen, and I'm going to show you some footage of, yeah, I don't think the YouTube behind it's going to mess with anything. This was filmed from my father-in-law who was standing off on the side of the road.
Mondo_FPV. Kids are asleep. How do I jump in?
Okay. The link I sent you on Discord, you can jump in on that, and we will. Let me jump over to Discord. There is Mr. Mondo right there. Let me get the screen centered on you. And thank you, Mondo, for coming out. Guys, the man is here. The man, I won't say the myth, but the legend himself, Mr. Mondo, is with us. Let me see how I do this. There we go. That's what I was trying to remember. I am not the best streamer in the world, guys, as you know that, but I am pretty. So, all right. You can show your face if you want to, Mondo, or, okay, I see this here. Where's he at? Where'd you go? There he is. There he is, Mr. Mondo.
I was gonna say the same phrase, lol.
Your mic's muted is what it shows, but... There he is,
Hey,
guys.
Mondo, how is going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody else is muted but me, and I am I'm going to mute Jarvis for the...
Jarvis is still on.
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna mute him. Yeah. You guys are welcome.
No sound.
See, this is why Mondo makes the big bucks, guys. Yeah. That's why. Come on, unmute. Unmute. Can you hear me now, Mr. Mondo? Okay, there we go. So I think Jarvis is muted.
Yes, sound.
Nope, he's not. Let me.
I mean,
mute him
no
real
Mondo
quick.
sound.
Yeah. Where do I mute him? I thought I hit spacebar, but I guess that changed. I'm sorry, man. Give me a second. Voice. Pause. There he's paused. So, now. You should be. Talk. Let me see. I don't know why. It was pulling everybody else's voice. I swear. I don't. Hang on. Test. Desktop audio is supposed to be showing. The window is supposed to be showing. Give me a second, please. Just some questions for you, man, for people to learn more about you. And so when you talk, say something again. I want to check all my feeds. There you go. His name is Armando Gallegas. You can hear him now, I bet. All right. That's good. You're coming through on Chrome.
On the YouTube?
Yep, on Chrome.
Nice.
So, Mondo, thank you for coming out and being on the channel. I've got questions myself, and we got people on that members can join in the chat or the Discord, and we'll open it up for them to ask you a few questions and stuff later. But
nice. Tonight,
some of the stuff that I want to talk about is about 533, but I want to talk a lot about you. We hear a lot about 533, and we hear a lot about you and Evan together in 533, and y'all making it up. But people don't hear a lot about Armando, and without Armando, 533 would not be. Is that correct? It would have never come into existence.
Without the duo, it wouldn't come to be, because it's not just me, but yeah, right. Evan and I, we share two separate strengths, and without that combination, 533 wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it's like mommy and daddy. If mommy and daddy don't come together, baby boy or baby girl don't come together or don't come out. Right?
Yes, yeah. Right. Because mostly I'm not the most talkative person. Maybe that's why you don't hear that much about Mondo. But Evan Turner, he can talk.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
You need somebody that can talk.
Right. Yeah, I've said it before a few times, and because of my head injury, sometimes I get confused of who I've said what to. I don't know if it was you at IO or one of the races or anything. I think it was you at one of the races. I was like, you're the brains of the group, and Evan's the eye candy. And whoever I said it to just laughed. And so, but yeah, so you were a racer before you ever got mixed up with Evan. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, we only met because we were both racing. So I was racing on Team Heart of America, and then Evan was Team Pyrodrone. And the first time we ever came across each other, we were on a flight to, what was it, Open Grove? There was that track out in California, and we were both going to a team race out there. And somehow he had a connection flight through St. Louis, and then I sat next to him on that plane. And then I always make sure to point out that our team won that race and beat Evan Turner's.
Oh, okay. Now, and that was Shane's? Sean Ives?
Yeah, with Sean. Who else was on the team? Sky was on our team that year.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure Amari. We had RaceBot. You don't see much of RaceBot anymore. That was Tristan Gilbert. He was so talented. I think he does more filming stuff nowadays.
Right.
But yeah, no, we were both racing, and that's how we met. And then, after that, we kind of just knew each other. But it really started once I started building his quads for him. And once I started building his quads, I started thinking about how they could be better. And it all stemmed from there.
Right. Now, the things that I was told is before Evan and all of that, you were the fastest guy in your local chapter.
Oh yeah. In St. Louis, I was always the guy to beat. Which was funny because I started off St. Louis FPV, because I started off in St. Louis and I was all freestyle at first. And I didn't understand how people could enjoy racing. I'm like, why would they do that? Why are people so serious about this? We're just this is so much more fun to just go out and be free and just do stuff. But then, just decided to stop by a race, and all I had was like a Armatan Chameleon, like my freestyle
Yeah,
quad,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, I mean, I guess I'll try to race, and then I won that race. So then, ever since then, I was hooked because yeah, once you start like pushing, and then you can like see how much faster you're getting every single
Hmm.
heat, and just like seeing other quads in your face. I quickly
Hmm.
understood I guess the draw to drone racing.
Oh yeah. I've said it a few times. I don't say it as much now as I have in the past, but racing is a lot when you're freestyling, it's like you're a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid. You're just out having fun. And you see
Yeah,
these racers over there and you're like, girls are yucky. Yeah,
why would they do
and then like at 12, 13, you walk by there and she looks at you and you're like, I'm done. I'm done. Bye,
that?
bye,
I
buddies. I'm
understand.
done. I'm following her. So,
That's
and
funny.
once you get bit by it, you know it's
Yeah, at this point, I'm basically married, I guess.
yeah, right, twice, right?
Yep, twice.
Now,
But yeah,
now,
that's basically the St. Louis experience was just yeah, me doing that. And then I just wanted to race more and more, and that's how I got into race directing is I just wanted more drone races. And I always tell people like they're always like, "How do I go to more drone races?" I'm like, "Well, the best way to have more drone races is to run your own drone races.
that's right.
Because then you're guaranteed to be there
And that's
and
some of my
guaranteed to make it happen."
questions personally that I've got for you is on some of your because, brother, you make it look so easy. You're just like, I'm like, what are you running? You were just running the 8-way, and now you're running rotor hazard. He's like, yeah, I'm just runs better with this one. I
Well,
could
we
barely,
we just like to try stuff out, and it's just
yeah,
like
I could barely get sound
I'm
working, Mondo.
I'm the type like before I do anything, I research. So like yeah, that
Oh,
typically anytime I like look at something and I want to try it, I spend like a week's worth of nights in bed just watching YouTube videos or reading about it, like just Googling everything. And before I even order anything or touch anything,
hmm,
that's just I always research, and
right.
then I mean then it just sets you up, and it's like anytime you run into a problem you probably have a good idea how to solve it. So rather like before I get my feet wet I research, and that's how I've always approached everything in life, and that's why like yeah, that's how I guess succeed or
Yeah.
look like I'm making it look easy. It was because I did all the work up front.
Uh, I was hoping you would say something different. Because I'm that
Like
guy
what?
that jumps in the pool and goes, oh, it's cold. And
Yeah, no. Yeah,
so,
no. I've always been like that. I like even as a child, like playing video games. My brothers would always pick on me because like they'd get that brand new video game and they'd pull it out and they'd want to play it, and I'd be over there like reading the manual or learning how to do all the combinations like in fighting games. And then once I played, I'd kick their butts and they'd be like, "You're cheating! Like it's not fair. You like read all the tricks." And I'm like, "No, I learned how to
mm,
play it. Like that's not
yeah.
cheating."
So I've
But yeah,
I've had
same
heads on the
situation.
show from Infinity Loops quite a bit, and I'm like, heads. When I grow up, I want to fly just like you. And he comes out with something very similar to what you just said. In order to what I'm taking, you're saying is basically in order to run a race like what you're doing, you got to put the time in. And he says the same
Yeah,
thing.
like
He says
anything,
I
like
fly
anything.
every day, either on the sim or in real life. I'm flying every single day is what Head said, and I was like, yeah, no, can't can't do it. I just my
Yeah.
schedule didn't make time for that. So
Yeah,
um,
like back whenever I was like very dedicated to getting good at drone racing, like I'd find any way I could to get a practice pack in, at least a practice pack, but I'd always set up a track, and yeah, you got to put the time in because I'd even like instead of going to lunch while I was working as an engineer, I'd take my lunch, I'd go set up pop-up gates at a nearby park, I'd fly packs
wow,
and
wow. See,
just make it
now
happen.
today I probably got at least a dozen packs in
Oh, perfect.
all by myself for a review that I've got to get done this weekend. Got a race Saturday. You probably know what I'm talking about, but it's got to get done this weekend. And I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything but the, the, the quad. And I'll talk
Uh,
about that in a little bit. But I've gotten away from doing a whole lot of reviews and wanting to get back into it. So, um, yeah,
It's a lot of work, especially if you like whatever level you hold yourself to of like whatever production quality you had to make, that only makes it even more
mhm.
work. So
See,
yeah, I can
and
understand that.
it's my wife and people that know me. I don't like to halfway do anything, but
Oh, he's a good man.
uh, I don't have the time to spend, you know, and my problem, I will get OBS working and they'll update that mug and stuff changes on me. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And I still don't know why. If I move the pop up screen from Windows, because I'm using that Ninja to get the, the stuff on the screen. And,
Okay.
and you're supposed to pop out the chat. It'll just stop. You know, it
Just
may in
stops
fact
working.
be it may be stopped right now because I wouldn't know. Jarvis isn't speaking, but
The way I always did the chat was we use Restream like for the drone races, just so we
mhm,
could put it on like Facebook, YouTube, and stuff, and then it just makes it super easy to pull in the chat because it does it as its own like browser source and it's all the way up. So
yeah.
then it pulls like all the chats.
Ah, I probably need to look at that. But I
And
like
it
does it have feature chat, which you're not watching, but where I can click it and it pops it up like Skydozer here says Mondo. I can feature it as a bigger kind of like
Oh, yeah, that does not have that feature, but it does have like the text to or yeah, text to voice.
okay.
It has
Yeah.
that feature, so you'd still
I'm,
have
I'm
Jarvis.
Yeah, I
But
may look into that because it's, between Trackside, which is a lot better. Big shout out to you guys for telling me that, and the Inside the Mind of Matt. I love it. That's why, if you remember at IO, I was like, we don't even have the stuff that we need. Let me just use Trackside. I'll get it up and going. We'll have a race. You'll know who's flying, and it'll work with the timer. And it's IO. They're like, no, you got to be doing the zippy queue. And,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, okay.
I
So,
mean, it makes sense for them since they're doing all of that. Like they like to have a queue and they like people to be able to sign in and stuff. Zippy Q is like starting to work better with Trackside, but like whenever you're doing like a small race, the simpler it is, the better. Because like if you've ever made an event in live time, like that, just that process in itself required me to do so much research and just like Googling, and because it starts with all those separate tabs to even be able to get your
mhm.
event going. You like have to create an event, you have to create a track, you have to, yeah, I
Get a
agree
layout.
with
Yeah,
you.
I spent the time on the phone with the dev, I guess, or the guy, the troubleshooter, whatever he is, several times. Just um, trying to get it working. Um,
Yeah, and then like trackside, they even have almost that wizard at the beginning that makes sure you go through each of those steps, and then you're basically set up at that point, and then it's just about what type of race you want to click start on.
right, and see, it has just done it. I'm going to switch for a second off of this so I can switch back into my uh, and pop the chat out again. Yeah. Yeah, see, it just did it again. So, but the chat should be fine now. If you type in it, it should show up back on the screen, guys. And I was noticing on my phone that it wasn't working, and I don't know why. It's just now it's working. Now we'll be able to see you guys. Keep talking. Sorry, Mondo.
Oh,
Let
you're
me
fine.
pull that. Oh, and I don't even have you back in Discord. There we go. So
Yeah,
there we
this
go.
just reminds me that like for the Skip and Carter live streams, we got some work to do because we haven't set up chat for them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
usually because it's like I'm working on something else, and you're like, oh yeah, we're live streaming tonight. I'm like, okay, let's just get it going. But
Yeah.
yeah, we need to get that working. Have you been
Yeah.
watching the Skip and Carter show?
I watch it afterwards because I am that
Okay,
part of the day. I am I'm
busy.
literally juggling phone calls all day
Oh,
long during the day and running around. So, but I have watched them, and they're good. They're good.
yeah.
Skip and Carter came up to our last race. We're having a UWL and 65 millimeter race Saturday in inside a
And
gym.
Skip's coming to that one too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, because today he was saying he has to practice. So there's the 533 shop has whoop gates just hanging everywhere right now.
Oh, so did he tell you how I won first place last time?
How did you win first place? Pure talent?
No, no. I mean, Skip and I and a few of the other guys, we're about around the same level. In the 65 millimeter, Carter kicked our butt. But in the UWL, Z King got the first ace. It might be a little bit out of order. Atreides, Skip got the second. I got the third ace, and then I won the fourth one. And was because I have a daughter that's special needs, and someone in the church had got COVID, and I have a camper sitting outside that when I'm exposed to something like that, I just go in the camper. I don't even come in the house. So I was doing the stream from the camper.
Oh, it's like your little quarantine camper.
It's like the doghouse, but it's when I'm sick, but or not when I think I might be. And I was playing the live stream, and Skip come on the Discord a little bit later. He was like, "Hey, Pastor," and Skip's always very respectful for me. I just love that about him. He's just a great guy. And he's like, "Hey, Pastor," he said, "Go to your live stream at so and so 46 minutes and something, and tell me what you see." And it was me flying, arming my quad, and it said RPM filter off. And I just like, man, it was a close race and everything.
Yeah. Everybody else was on handicap, and it was just leveling the playing field, right?
That's right, I guess. But you know, I don't really. I was flying in the parking lot at church. I don't really notice too much difference in it. As far as top end, it's pretty close. But you know, recovering from a split S or something is bad. But I got more questions for you, and I need to get to that. I can talk about myself.
Oh, you're good.
All time.
We can talk about whatever. I don't even know I didn't know what to expect from a PhatPastor live stream. I was just like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, it's not like confessional or anything. I think somebody told me, said, I thought it was going to be like confession. I'm like, not that kind of pastor. But where do you see 533 in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, daily, we're just always working on getting better at everything we do. But in 5 years, I just hope to be one of the FPV mega stores, but branching into more areas, I guess, just because we're always trying to, I guess, branch more into like that STEM area and help students. And we've partnered with some schools, and we're always working on things like that. But and then recently there's been some, I guess, defense oriented things, but all stateside. And so, it's just like trying to predict where we're going to be in 5 years is kind of hard, but I just know that we'll be working on big things, I guess.
And I know for me that I know how much I don't know. Well, I could argue that I don't know what I don't know, but I know how little I know. When people come up to me like, man, you put on a great race, or you did this, I was like, it just worked. Trust me, it just happened to work. But that being said, I forgot what I was going. Let me look here. What my questions were. People are always quick to give me advice. Oh, that was great, but you should have did this, and if you'd have done this, and if you'd have done it this way, you'd have done it that way, put these motors on it, it would have been perfect. So indulge me here for a moment. I want to give a little 2 cents what I would love to see. Loved as a resident of Tennessee and as a drone racer and someone that comes to your guys' tiny whoop races whenever I can. I even mentioned it to Kevin one time at I think it was the last tiny trainer race. It was at the big gym, the arena, and I was like, Kevin, I was like, 533, you guys like need to build a pole barn type warehouse or something that's big enough to do tiny whoop and tiny trainer, UWL now, and just host races and have a shop up front. People break parts. Hey, we got your parts. And then I was even telling Skip, I was like, and it would be so great that you, like, once or twice a year could say, hey, we got 20 spots open for people who are race coordinators, and you come up Friday and Saturday, and I'm going to show you tips and tricks on how to set up your own race and all of that, and charge people like $200 a piece. It'd be a good money maker.
No, we definitely want to be able to do things like that. Like, believe it or not, we are finally outgrowing the Turner's basement.
Right.
And yeah, that is definitely on the list of things that needs to happen when we get our warehouses. But one of the main things Evan wants is an outdoor space to fly, but we definitely want it big enough where inside we can do things like that. But I don't know if you know Sean Taylor very well, but Night Fury,
I don't know
he's
him
basically
well.
he's doing that. Like, he runs a store, I think it's in New Mexico, called Drone Max, and sells parts up front, but he just has so much space to have drone races inside. And he says, like, every time he has a race, like before he even gets to the shop, there's a bunch, like, the regulars are there waiting to just start kicking each other's ass, and they're just in the parking lot already talking smack on each other.
Right.
And he just says it's so much fun and great to just be able to have that space all the time, and just if people want to come hang out, they can come hang out. Kind of like RC car stores are, where they have that track in the back.
Yeah.
Very similar to that.
See, that's where I, years ago, I don't know if you can see up in but I've got airplanes, micros hanging all from the ceiling and everything. And I've been in radio control for close to 30 years. And I can remember my brother used to be sponsored by, I think it was Team Losi, on a carpet track.
Okay. Oh, that's a big track, or a big sponsorship.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, it wasn't as, it was a lot of parts for him. And that's just what it was, just parts. That was it. He didn't get any money. But I was thinking, man, this is such a business, because people would break a tie rod in, and they'd be like, we got one right here. And it's like, how much for it? It's like $6. It's like, $6. I can get one for $3. And it's like, well, but you can't get one tonight for $3.
Yes.
So, and it was a great money making thing. And, Sean Taylor, he's like the dad of FPV, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's just such a great person, and just the way he handles conversations or conflict in general, and just he's the right person to be in that position. Yeah, just the way he handles all of those types of situations.
Way back on my channel, I built a dive gate, and I bought the stuff for it. I was having trouble. I was trying to use conduit, and it just wouldn't work. And he had a video, and in his description of his video, he had his email, or email, Facebook, I don't remember what it was. Somewhere I messaged him, and I was like, man, I'm having a hard time. And he was like, well, just look here at this. And I said, well, I was watching the video, and all it was the metal galvanized piping with paracord. You drill a hole in it, and you tied the corners. You've probably seen them. You might know.
Well, that's how I've built a dive gate ever since. I have like an Instagram reel showing people how to do like my version of it, but very similar.
You put the S hook in it, zip tie it, and put it. And I was like, wow. And and there's so much of this hobby that's that way, that it's you're banging your head up against the wall with Betaflight, and then me myself,
reach out to somebody.
Yeah, me myself, I have changed VTXs because I left a camera lens on. So I'm done.
Black video, you're like, this thing's broken.
It's like,
that's funny.
It's like, it's got to be something going on, but that was back in the day. So not on my list of questions, is there plans to FPV that Power Wheels off to your left shoulder?
Oh, so then I have 2 Power Wheels here, and then we just got my daughter this dirt bike, but it could be cool to FPV this 4-wheeler. We actually in the shop have a little crawler that I FPV'd. So I put a little tiny whoop camera in it, and that thing's a lot of fun because it has like headlights. And then I'll just sit in here, and then I'll put up the garage door. And then there used to be construction next door, and then there's just like gravel everywhere. But whenever you're in that tiny crawler, it just felt like some huge rocks. And you're like crawling over everything,
Right.
and then I had like random 2x4s out there that you're crawling over.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
you could
have
basically FPV anything.
I come up with um my well it's my own thing, but it's not branded to me in any way, and I've had a couple people ask me for the logo and everything. It's FPV Pocket Pro Am. I don't know if you're old enough to remember RC Pro Am from Nintendo.
No, I don't.
Well, it's basically radio controlled cars where you're trying to knock each other off the track. Well, I took the little tiny whoop or the little Synclo FPV cars, and I make a track. I take 3 fold out 7-foot Walmart tables, is what I call them,
Okay.
and I put down black construction paper and take yellow paint and paint lines on it, and you put guardrails up. And you can watch it on my video back. I'm not, because of here, I'm not going to go into showing it, but you're talking about fun. You watch the cars from an overview, and it looks like they're going like real slow, but when you're in there, it's like FPV. When you're in it, and that's been a great way for me for the kids. One of the deacons, one of the the youngest deacon in our church, he was just telling me the other day that his son is around 5, something like that, that he's ready for me to bring it, because I took it to our deacons retreat, and all of our deacons were sitting there with like goggles on, and we're running around on the hardwood floor. And the only downside to it is the stock VTXs are all F band or A band or something, but
yeah, that's rough.
the wiring going to it is 5 volts. So I cut it and took the little AIOs that have race band on them that you can get, that you put on airplanes and whatever, probably what you put on that, stuck it on it. Now I can run like 5 race cars in it, and we're sitting there. Awesome. And it's fun. You have to check it out. It's fun. Tell me, I know you're a family guy like myself. I've heard that a lot. How many children do you have?
I have 2, and I've drawn the line at 2. I think 2 is a good number, but I think it's just dependent on who the person is and how much love and how much time they have and how they want their kids to turn out. But yeah, 2 is where I'm at.
Yeah. I always tell people at 3, you get outnumbered. So.
Oh, yes.
So, but when my wife and I first got married, we wanted 5. We wanted 3 of our own, and we wanted to adopt 2. And of course, our second one was born with a genetic disability, and we stopped there. But
But yeah, that's a lot of work, and and God entrusted you with that, and knew that you were able to go through that.
Yeah. Well, my wife does the majority of it. She's awesome. And speaking of that's where I get my slogan from that you hear: "Rise up and meet me in the air," which my link is looking for my face. So. That has a dual meaning to it. I want people to come fly with me, but it also has a dual meaning to it there. So, I
love it.
A lot of people run from me because they're like, "You're a real pastor." I'm like, "Yeah." The first time I met,
what do they think? Are they afraid of judgment or something?
I guess I did tell Alex one time. I think it was at Chicken and Rippin'. I was talking with Bardwell, and he was beside the building, inhaling some libations. Let me just say that. And he saw me, and he was like, and I said, "The next time I meet you, I'm bringing the holy water." Just come on. He's like,
"That's funny.
You do that?"
That's basically the smell of drone racing at this point.
Right. Yeah.
or the smell of IO.
The smell of, absolutely, the smell of IO. I was like, I was like, glad I'm a pastor, because I think I would fail a drug test. I didn't touch nothing. So
Yeah, no. For the longest time, like I just thought it was a funny name. Like I didn't know you were actually a pastor, and then I forget
Yeah,
who it was that told me. But like, no, he's actually a pastor. I'm like, well, I mean, he's
yeah,
still just a person. Like
yeah.
he's
It
like the rest
actually
of us. We're all
worked.
hanging out.
Yeah, it actually come from the fat bee thing because I was chasing around a little guy telling me get in my belly, and it stuck. So I can't get
Get
away
in
from
my
it. It
belly.
worked. Yeah, get in my belly.
Mhm.
So, so you are an engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
Electrical or mechanical?
Mechanical.
Mechanical
So yeah, mechanical. I worked as a structural engineer at Boeing. So then,
at Boeing.
um, yes. So I
Don't tell
did.
any secrets.
Oh, there's no secrets. So most of my work was commercial, but I guess I was technically defense because like Boeing St. Louis is BDS, so Boeing Defense Systems. But I got to work 777X, and our team was like the folding wingtip team. So then I was responsible for the entire leading edge structurally, and
Wow.
then after that, what did I work? F-15, and then Harpoon, like the Harpoon missiles, like the one that like skims over the water to kind of hide, then it pops up at the end. That so I got to work
Oh yeah.
that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now I made the joke for some of our people in chat who uh on this channel we let people indulge their their conspiracy theories, and I was like, don't be whistleblowing and working for Boeing. You get
Yeah,
like
no.
you get like unalived or whatever the kids call it now. So yeah, I went to school for civil engineering.
Okay.
Never got the 4 year civil engineer. Actually left that and went to work for the sheriff's department. Did that
Okay.
for a little while, and then went into photogrammetry. So I did a lot of water abatement, topo mapping. Actually was on a team that did the base maps for a company called Tiger, which we now know is Google.
Oh,
And all
and
that,
what was your rig? Like, what did you use to photo at that time?
yeah, the LiDAR was just coming out. We had a twin engine Aztec airplane. We had a Zeiss camera with a 6 inch, well, it's an 8 inch lens, but a 6 inch focal length on it. And we used 10 inch Kodak negatives. So it was a 9x9 photo. And we would do a 60% forward overlap. And the overlap is like a projector or what's that, a ViewMaster. Wherever it
Okay.
overlapped, we put it in. Back in the day, back in the 90s, I was running a T1 system with RAID hop swappable drivers in it. We put on Sony glasses, it would polarize back and forth and cause the 3D of the screen to come out. And we had a cursor was shaped like a puck, and you would spin the wheel, and your cursor would come right out to you,
This
and
is
like you could
wild.
set it on top of a water tower as the water tower is coming into view outside of the screen from you. And that's how we did topo maps with the rings, like you see. And
Yeah.
in the early days, we did ortho photos. Don't know if you remember the early days of Google Earth and stuff. The overpass bridges would go like this, and then they'd dip down like they were melted. I don't know if you ever saw
Yeah,
that.
I
Well,
did.
that's because it went down to the terrain. It would move the pixels to the terrain.
Yeah.
And
Like,
so yeah, so like if this was a mile long, but it was uphill in the photo, it's not going to look like a mile long in a 2D image, you know. But when you rectify it, it stretches the pixels. That's basically what I
yeah.
did. I ran a mapping company like that for almost 14 years, and
That sounds like fun.
then went into ministry. So, been here over 20 years doing that, and flew. Uh, so I stopped flying in private airplanes when our pilot got killed. But
Oh,
that's a different story for another night.
yeah.
Uh, let's get in. Let some of the people, because I don't want to keep you all night. We'll let some of the
Oh,
people
you're fine.
uh, ask you questions and all. Um, I got one more for you. Do you know of a good way for someone that has an iPhone or is buddies with people that are Android? How do you stream when you don't have a good connection, like a router or something like that to plug into? Do you guys stream? I've seen y'all out in the field before.
Yeah. So I usually just use my hotspot for my phone. But then like if Sean Ames is ever around, he has like a T-Mobile hotspot, and that thing works really well. But that's basically is just hotspots. And
are
then
you
like
an
when we
Android?
were, I'm an iPhone user, so I use my iPhone as a hotspot, and
Oh.
I'm on AT&T, which seems to work for me. And I've always had unlimited data, so that's never a problem.
So do you just tether to a PC that's running?
Yeah, but at a drone race, like if you turn on like hotspot and then you plug it in via USB, you can do it so it gives you internet over the wire rather than casting like Wi-Fi all over the place while you're sitting next to the race line,
Right.
because they'll complain real quick. They're like, I have Wi-Fi lines. So,
Okay. So
but yeah,
and with rotor hazard, do you just plug it in Cat5 also? Make a little local area network and then run it out through the
yeah,
hotspot?
either like whatever timer we're using, we do it over Ethernet. But then because you can have internet via USB and then still have your Ethernet coming in for your timer.
Okay. Okay. Because what I'm doing, and I've seen, I was as you know, I was over your shoulder a few times. I'm looking at your, you're using an AMD. I think it's Radeon 6 or 7, something on the laptop that
Oh, that laptop, yeah.
and mine's a 5, and I was like, no, I'm probably not fast enough.
Nah, you're fine.
And I learned in OBS, it's just turn down your settings. So
Yeah,
the
'cause
next step for me is that.
I always try to run like a 60 frames per second live stream just because that's what we're getting to our eyes most of the time. Well, now with I guess HDzero, it's 90, but we're not there yet. I think you'd need a special capture card to be able to put 90 on the live stream, and then I don't even know if YouTube supports 90, so we'd have to pick a different platform. So 60 is probably where we're gonna stick for a while. And then yeah, the capture card I use is that like Razer, I forget what it's a Razer capture card, and it'll capture it at 60 frames per second. And that's
Now-
usually what I plug the Event VRX into, just so it looks super smooth.
Right. And are you doing 720 or
I usually do
560?
1080 60.
1080 60? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And your RAM on your computer's 16, 32?
I'm not sure. That one's at the shop.
Okay.
But
Yeah, see, I've got
I think it's at
I've
least
got an
60.
AMD 5 with 32 gigs, so it seems to be working fine. 720, 60, I think it seems to be working fine. So that was the extent of the questions. Yeah, Mars says 90, 90 at 710. So what we can do, guys, if you are in the Discord and you want to unmute yourself, or if you want to jump
Yeah,
on
we got
into the
Skip
Discord,
in the Discord.
yeah, Skip is like Skip and
Oh,
Carter.
I need to show you what we did with Skip and Carter today. 1 second. Because we went freestyling. We thought it was a good day to go freestyling. So then Skip took me to his bando. I need to show you. Can I share my screen on here?
I think you can. Yep.
See, Skip's probably telling his wife right now, like, "Hey, nothing bad on that screen. I don't want anybody to see what you're watching." Let's see.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Turn the Asian porn off. Skip, turn it off.
The screen one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Okay.
You're a
Is
little
it
bit
sharing
low.
my screen?
Let me turn you up. Skip.
Skip, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so then this is where our freestyle session today, which then resulted in us having to get on the roof. I don't know how smooth it'll come through, but
Looking good on this one.
I can pause it right before impact.
In fact, okay.
It's been a while since I live streamed. And they're like, yeah, no, this place is great. And it was great. There was so many little gaps you could go through.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
Oh, that's amazing. I
oh,
love it.
the one thing you could hit right there.
yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that thing there. I was like, yeah, I'm going blind. I thought I was going to power loop the whole building. And then I square up the one thing.
You got the power loop shard.
But I tried to react last second.
Is the chimney to that pipe open below, or does it go into like a furnace?
It goes into a furnace.
Oh well, I mean, it
yeah.
could have been worse. You could have went into
Well,
the
Skip-
pipe.
Skip
could've been
almost
much
fell
worse.
through the roof. Let's see if that's in
That's
here.
hilarious.
Oh, right there. He's like, oh. Yeah, we
Don't let PhatPastor up there. That'll definitely happen.
we had a little too much fun today.
That's good, man. That's good. Skip tells me about the what the work environment is like, and I'll say this, if I lived closer, and I even told Skip, I was like, tell Evan and Mondo if you guys get backed up on shipping or something, give me a call. I'll come down and get a hotel or something, spend the night, help you ship it out, because it just seems like
people are always welcome.
Yeah, but
we're in like a guest bedroom most of the time that has been repurposed to be a build room, so it's very easy to just like sit around and talk. Like you feel very much like you're just hanging out at home.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty much my second home.
I remember the first time, I don't know if I've ever told you, the first time I met Evan, we was on DRL Sim, and they put me in the same room or whatever with Evan. I was out early, very early. At that time, me and Piefly were about at the same level. Of course, she's faster than I am now, and they somehow I don't know if it was Evan or somebody asked me to kind of watch the other drones and tell Evan where they're at. And so I did that for a couple. I ended up winning it, got some money and all that stuff. And Alex was on there. He was like, man, he's like, you from Tennessee? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Tennessee. He's like, oh, I'm in Tennessee. I'm like, yeah. I'm excited. He's like, well, we're practicing for chance. Why don't you come out this weekend? I was like, well, I'll bring pizza. And he's like, well, definitely come out there. And I showed up at Chief, what he was called, at Alex Campbell's house. We had a bunch of pizza.
I still call him Chief.
Yeah, and we had a great time. But I tell people the story. Evan might not remember. I'm
struggling to hear PhatPastor at the moment. Are you losing him too?
Yeah, I'm losing him too. He's starting to.
Is it any better? Get closer.
It sounds like you're slowly falling it down into like a pit.
A pit or something, yeah.
I might need to.
Oh yeah. Maybe can you like unplug and replug your mic?
It's got a battery in it.
Oh wow, yeah, it's definitely.
Is that any better? Do I need to replace
Some Mars says. He says your sound card is dead at AF right now. That's funny.
It is.
We need PhatPastor back. I need to show the quad that hit that chimney. The quad is completely fine, but then like,
oh yeah,
okay,
I hit it like this.
Can you guys hear me now?
The only thing that happened was like my GoPro mount pulled out of these, and then like these motors, the bells like shot down.
Yeah, you got to be hitting.
Golly.
But like the frame is completely fine. So it hit here, and then like I had to hit hard for the bell just to shoot off like that.
Come.
It was wild.
Crazy.
Because there was nothing I could do there. I was going fast.
Yeah, you were.
That's the flip switch. It survived. That's still a prototype one. So if I would have broken something, we don't have any spare parts.
Oh man. You come out on that.
Can you hear me now? Hear me now? Is that any better now? Any better now?
I can hear you trying.
Hear me trying? Trying?
Yeah.
What's the
I'm going to try to mimic, but it's like.
It's still bad.
That's funny.
Okay. Let me. I don't know.
Yeah.
The link.
What's that movie where like the family members keep getting taken into the TV, and it's like that old scary movie. I don't even remember, but that's what I imagine it sounds like when they're back there talking through the TV, like the static, and they're like, "My mommy's in the TV. PhatPastor's in the TV."
I believe Skydozer asked about the quad ferry.
What about now?
Did drones?
Can you hear me any better now?
Yep, there you are.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, that's from the link. I think the battery died on my shotgun mic, and I just grabbed one close, so I don't know if it's any good.
Oh, gotcha. So you sound great now.
All right. Well, it's the link, so if it picks up everything in the room, so doesn't let me know when the one battery starts to go down. So. All right, yeah. I saw that. It's horrible to be hearing all of this and not be able to talk back to you guys. Just like I'm not used to that.
We tried to fill the silence.
Yeah, you did. You did great. You did great with it. So, yeah, the sounds like trash and echoes. It's echoing now? Okay, because I probably got 2 of them on.
I don't hear you echoing.
Yeah, y'all won't.
Yeah, it might.
It's going to be...
Well, because he has mic, and then he'll have this browser source coming in, so he'll probably have to turn off his mic and just... No, that wouldn't work either. I'm not sure why it's like...
It's probably a sound right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
It's just coming through.
It's just, I think you
Yeah, we're...
I think he just means the way it sounds, period. Just the way that mic sounds.
All right. Maybe that'll work. I've got desktop audio instrumentation. See, I don't know. See, this is...
You sound good.
I would read them.
Skydozer says, what frame is that again? That was the flip switch. Oh, yeah, no, he already asked that. How far back are these comments?
I had to refresh mine. Was that?
I will...
Okay.
No, that was earlier.
That sounds like, but...
He said I would deal with it.
And you guys can join me if you I don't know how many people we can have on here, but
In the
I know
Discord.
we can have a lot. So you guys are welcome to have it. Our Discord is free. Sounds like
TV radio. Yeah.
Are there any tithes required to be in your Discord?
There's parts of the Discord that are members.
Gotcha. There's no mandatory tithes, but if you love Jesus,
That's right.
it's 10%.
If you're a member, you get extra stuff.
Yeah.
Mars says, wait, am I sober?
Does it still sound like Ham's guys?
No, it's alright.
He says, it sounds like a CB radio. Do we all sound bad?
It's just the way his mic is in the link, probably.
He says, or a robot tripping.
Y'all quit picking on Marty.
Like a $160 microphone. It's probably not the microphone.
Sometimes the only way to fix some of these things, like I've had to like restart the computer, and I was like, oh, everything works great now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just Marty sounds like
Especially
crap. Let me.
Y'all quit picking on Marty.
He's doing his best.
Yeah.
He's trying to put on the best show on earth right now.
That's right.
Well, it's that better. But it'll, I'm thinking it will echo. Probably going to echo. Because in order to be able to hear them, which they're hearing me fine through the link, yeah, I've got the condenser mic turned off. So, all right, we'll see. Just Pastor's mic routing to OBS is broken. Yeah, sounds like it. Much better. I'm not touching it. Okay, I'm not touching it.
I did nothing.
I didn't. The battery. What happened is just you figure for a $180 mic it would let me know it. Flashing light, something that the single AA battery gone dead.
Is dead. Yeah.
People are probably asking, probably because
It was like
use,
just slowly getting worse and worse.
probably because I use cheap Rayovac batteries from Amazon. So, but yeah. So
Yeah, you need to use those good rechargeables from Energizer.
So you guys are getting in. I'm going to step away from the microphones for a second. I want to show the people's this. I should have already had it out, but I didn't.
I gotta wait 30 seconds to see what you're showing us.
I know it's suspenseful. It's very suspenseful.
Oh yeah, now he's holding up his finger like, wait.
Oh, now I am. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So that's how
sorry.
far back.
Here, a paper
You're good.
wrap.
I could share my screen with y'all.
Oh, that could work.
Let me try this in Discord.
You got a drone in your hand.
Yes, I do. I'm trying to see which one I can show you guys. Well, that's going to show you my whole. Okay.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
If we can
You
see
guys can
live.
see. You guys can see my what's it called?
Oh, there. Look at that. Oh, that's way less latency.
Way less. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, Bill. Thank you for your membership, brother. Right here. This is my UWL Whoop, built by Skip, set up by Carter, and money went to the bank with Mondo and Evan. So, but it flies good. What makes mine different? And they were quite all right with it. I bought a V3 camera, the HDzero V3, and it's nice. It's really nice. And
Versus what, the Eco?
Yeah, I have three UWLs. I have the Eco, I have the regular little micro nano camera that was in the original, and I have this one. And
Nice. Which one's your favorite?
This one. This one.
I'm the type of person that would need a Nano 91.
Yeah.
I keep telling Ryan Quillett, I'm like,
That and the
why
V3.
isn't there a 90 hertz whoop cam yet? That's all I want. And if there was a 90 hertz whoop cam, I'd design a 5-inch around it just because you could make everything smaller.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
So there's a no. It's rumored. It's rumored, and I guess I can do this. I'm not going to switch my scenes on it yet, but other people have shown. You know, there's rumors out there. Well, it's not rumors. Carl at IO said that he was making an HDzero 8IO, and Ryan Quillett actually had one. And
So the AAOs, have they not released yet?
well, it's about to be.
Oh yeah, no, because I know that they sent us an email about it.
I cannot give specs. Please don't ask me specs. But you're just going to want to be watching for the next week. Just keep touch. But this is what I flew 12 packs with today.
Oh, because you're filming this review.
Yes, and well, I'm not spoiling it because I like to, I like to share things with people on the live stream. This quad right here is the best, and I'm purposely covering up some things, as you guys might know, is the best 65 millimeter whoop that I have flown. And I've flown a lot, and as y'all know, I like a whoop a little bit fat. I prefer to race the OG 65 millimeter. You probably saw in some of the races I'm HDzero with it because I don't like the floatiness of the real light ones. I'm not used to that. So I like when I'm coming up out of gate, all I got to do is kill throttle if I'm too high, and it's just going to sink like a rock because I'm used to. This one does not do that, as nowhere near, because it's not heavy. I can't tell you what it weighs. That would be part of the specs. I will be telling you later, but man, I think this is going to change 65 millimeter whoop racing.
Oh, I bet. I watched it fly at IO and it looked incredible. And yeah, Evan got to fly one. He liked it. And
oh yeah, I know that AK flew it at IO.
Yeah, I watched him fly it too,
which was crazy. How he stepped in and just. I think it's incredible to look at and to know the specs and things and to know what's coming out with it. I'm very excited for whoop racing and what that will mean to even, because that's me. my deal is UWL right now. I mean, I've got a race scheduled for Saturday, and you know, in Tennessee, we're expected to hit that. Y'all are probably getting some in East Tennessee already today, right? Some of the rain from that hurricane.
Yeah, no, we just, as I was coming in today after work, we were getting drizzled on, so I guarantee it's raining.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah, and but I don't have to cancel my race because it's indoors. And
yes, that's the beauty of it.
The worst that can happen is the power goes out where we're at, and we can still race. We don't have to do a timer. We can just, especially with UWL, you like green quad went through, blue quad went through, second blue quad went through. So, and
I mean that like anytime I tell people that they can run a drone race, that's exactly how I'm like. You don't need all of this fancy stuff. Like whenever I started just racing with people, is just like call out your laps, or you just have a spotter that's okay. It's pretty obvious who won. There's 4 drones in the air.
Yeah,
but to have a drone race, you just need people that want to race.
And I don't know if you've ever run into it, but at least on my, I have several rotor hazards. I need to sell a couple of them, but I have the nuclear hazard 8. It's got all 8 nodes in it. And there's times, I don't know why, on trackside it's showing me clear that it's reading rotor hazard up in the corner, and you can just go to hit play, and it's like, you know, pilot stand down, timer disconnected. And it's not disconnected.
Oh, really?
And it's like, what? In the last race, it started doing that right at the finals. We had 2 or 3 aces by then, and it just like every round that I'd set up, usually go into a new round or knock it out of that or whatever. So we was just like, okay, I was like, whoop, and you know, just when you go through the gate, yell 1, and you know, and the first person to say 4, you know, wins, and you know, so it was fun, even though the PhatPastor didn't realize he was cheating. He was cheating. I did run this, and it may have happened because this TPU frame that's on it, I mean, I hammered this thing, and it's pulled the MIPI cable, because this is the V3, it's MIPI cable. It pulled the pins, the wires out of the plug of the MIPI cable. And graciously, Skip was like, if you got a MIPI cable, man, I'll put one back on for you while you're running the thing. And I handed him a MIPI cable and come back. I don't know if it was that, because I did have CAC time, but I think it will still show you CAC, even if you don't have the RPM limiter on, right? How long you were in CAC, how many minutes you were in CAC?
Yeah, no, it's still show, because that's just 100% throttle.
Okay. Yeah, then I was probably cheating over time. So...
I'm surprised you couldn't hear it. Usually, like, anytime I've spec raced, you can instantly hear when somebody's not spec, because it's just higher pitch. Like, all the drones sound exactly the same, and then there's that one that's, like, just a little higher.
Flyboy.
Yes, exactly. But we've had, like, freedom spec races. That's really easy to tell when somebody doesn't have their RPM limiter on. But, because we've had some of those at IO where somebody's, like, full 6S speed, and it's just like, that's a 6S quad, not an RPM.
To our credit, too, I was trying out the new thing in trackside where I took my PhatPastor logo and I put it up there, so when it's waiting, all of my OSDs covered up with that big PhatPastor logo. So it was only like afterwards when I was just like flying around and I was showing them that I was flying, Skip was like, look at that. And it said, it said RPM filter off. And I was like, oh no.
Who got second?
Z King. And Skip got third. But it was really anybody's race. And, you know, we're not going to count that in the points thing, because we're doing a points thing with it. That race was just, it was the first one we ever did. And to have 4 pilots show up with quads. Now one of them bought one of your guys right there at one of y'all's deals right there at the thing. So
nice.
You should send some with Skip, like, you know.
Oh yeah, we've been telling him to do that. Like if he has time, just build one up, and then if somebody wants to buy it, they can buy it.
And you know, bring some gear and put your little. Anytime I'm having a race, if you guys want Skip's coming, you want to set up a table to sell stuff, what, just, man, whatever, just go ahead and do it. And you know, I don't know if you got my message about, I want one of them big Sasquatch stickers.
Yeah, you want a foot by foot. And I was like thinking like, I feel like I could do a cooler 533 sticker than a giant Sasquatch one.
Okay.
But if you really like the Sasquatch,
well, send me like a 3-inch. I want to put it on. I showed you my Woot wagon. That
I saw that with your sticker on it.
Yeah, and I've got some tiny Woot stuff on it. Jesse's supposed to be sending something, and Zotek said he's going to be sending something from Weebly, and I haven't talked to Dave in a while, but Dave from Fly High, I think all of those are going to be sending like motors, and I think Dave's sending some LEDs and stuff like that to put that on them. Because once I get it all done, it's going to be like, if you see this trailer, Woot racing is happening in your neighborhood. Scan this right here, and
come out and race. Oh, Z King, he's here to claim his crown. He's like, he's like, you can just hand it over right here. He just jumped in the chat.
Oh yeah, I see. There he is. He got the big second. And
what's up, buddy?
So really, it probably would have been Z King first, because if I'd have saw it straight up, and I think the guys know, if I would have saw that I had made, that I had gotten an ace with that turned off, I'd have DQ'd myself. I'd been like, I'm out. Everybody else goes up one, and what can you do at that time?
I remember in one of the finals, I was leading the pack, and Pastor ran straight up me, and we had a basketball goal we had to go behind, and he ran me out of the basketball goal, and that's why I got third in one of the finals.
Yeah, it was that snowplow that I put on the front of it also. No cack, and that blade on the front.
The bulldozer.
Yeah. See, me for one, I know people get real competitive. I don't mind losing. If I'm hosting a race and I lose, that means that there's people there that just give me a run for my money. And I've learned. I'm 50 years old. I've learned. I used to be real good. I beat the collegiate world champ at ping pong when I was a senior in high school. And I'm competitive, but I'm not like, oh, I'm so mad. Like, hey man, I've learned that if you practice against people, if you race against people faster than you, you'll get faster. And the reason why I was able to beat this guy is because he come to our high school and was trying to sell them on the automatic ping pong shooter things with the net. And so I played against him and played against him and played against him. And he was like really good. But if I would have just stayed playing against my buddies and in school, I would remain to suck. Yeah. So you guys got questions? You got questions for Mondo? As y'all know, all of y'all on here know me a lot.
Yeah, I've got like 5 minutes before I got to hop off, and then I can take whatever.
Right. Questions? Anybody? Anybody got questions for him? I like what Skydozer said. He says, "Thank God that we, the community, have someone like Carl. Carl is a good dude."
Oh yeah, and he's just fun to be around too.
Yeah,
he's so funny.
Yeah. And now you was there when he announced the AIO, right?
At IO?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he kept showing it to me anytime I walked up to him. He's always like, every time I've ever seen Carl, he's got something to show me. Yeah,
right.
So he's like, wait, no, Mondo, come here. You have to see it. Like, okay, let's see what you got.
I come from there. I know when he was there, he showed it, and Ryan flew it, and AK flew it, and people was gathering around looking at it, and they were saying, when's it going to release? And he said, 2 months. You know how Carl does that, and he's got that little funny laugh. I think most of the people there took him seriously. I thought he was doing a play on Trappy's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
because he just told me outside the tent that he was wanting to get a better camera for it, and that he didn't know for sure when it was the AIO was pretty close to being ready, but he wanted to find a camera that was better than the Eco. And so when he saw that, when I saw that, I was like, I think he means something different. Of course, people have been telling me, no, you're wrong. It's when was IO? June?
Yeah. So he was
July,
March.
August, just about 2 months. So
If
it's
he
coming
gives
out.
himself a date, like he sets himself to it whenever he has a goal. But let's see. Skydozer, he said what? Any info about the Octo Fairy?
Oh yeah.
Atreides over here. Skip can probably share more information on it, but we've had that frame forever because it was like the year that like IO doesn't have X Class anymore, but the year that the Octo Fairy broke X Class is the year we got it because it used to be a thing where like people would build these crazy X Class quads, huge motors, huge props. Some of them would take like basically duster and put it upside down so they could freeze their motors before because they'd get more torque. And then and every single pack, they were basically throwing a battery away because it was pulling so many amps that any battery you put on it was just going to die. Like it would basically puff every single time they flew. So they were putting so much money into it. And then John, Geyser? Is that Ferry? He came out with those, and like the three of them that were running that just kicked everybody's butts because like they didn't. I don't think they had the top end speed, but any flag or any turn, those Octo Fairies just blew them out of the water because they had just so much thrust to weight, and it basically like Skip was flying it. It's like feels like a crazy 5-inch 6S quad, but they're kind of fragile. But other than that, it's just like because it's just carbon fiber tubes. And like it's the most lightweight thing possible. Unlike any of the other, it's like the exact opposite of what an X Class frame was. Like they tried to build them to be like indestructible and like handle the most amount of weight and power, and be that I guess that had to be like 1,000 millimeters minimum. And then they just did it where it was the lightest thing possible, just random stuff that you get off your 5-inch open class quads, and then just kick everybody's butt. Like it's like some people didn't even have 8 motor pads on their flight controller. They would just duplicate the same signal per motor. So they they just splice that going to each ESC. So it's like the same signal going to each ESC, telling it what to do. So then if it was on one arm, it was just doing the same thing. So it was flying basically like a quad, but just 2 motors doing the same exact thing.
Wow. Mike says, Skydozer says, I want to build one. Do the carbon arms, tubes come in a kit?
Yes, everything comes in the kit. Like you don't have to buy your own carbon tubes. Everything you need to build it will be in there.
He also asked about, I want to know about the 4K probe shot and some of Evan's intros and how.
Are those the ones that like I just had random stuff on my desk over here, and then we just rented a probe lens? Like I wasn't gonna buy a probe lens, but I just got a probe lens off like lensrentals.com for like 3 days, and then we put that on my wife's camera, and then I put it on a slider, and then we just kept putting random stuff on the desk and making probe shots just to make it look cool. But now like you don't even need to spend money on a probe lens. Like if you get like one of those Insta360 Go's and like put it on the end of a stick. Like I've seen people do some crazy probe shots just with an Insta360 Go because it's small enough to fit through gaps and you can get close to stuff.
It's a camera on a stick.
On a stick.
I'm dating myself again. Any other
one
questions?
thing about the Octo Fairy that's crazy is so if you start yawing in the Octo Fairy,
yeah, it's bad.
It just throttles up, and it's crazy. And that thing is super fast.
Yeah.
Like
that could probably be fixed with tuning too.
Oh yeah. Well, I've flown a lot of drones, like a whole lot of drones, and this is by far one of the fastest accelerating drones that I've ever flown, and it turns on a dime. I mean, you think something that big wouldn't fly fast, and you think it would not turn as good as it does. But this thing, I mean, it turns like a 3-inch on with a supercharger on it.
Supercharger.
Wow.
That's funny.
Is anybody else watching Skip's feed? Suddenly,
Down at
Burger
the
King.
bottom, he's moving, but
He's
up
moving?
on your screen, he's just frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yep, frozen in time on the top screen.
But on mine, yeah, he's moving fine. It looks like I'm loading too. Oh, now he moves down at the bottom. Maybe because it's like a lower resolution feed down there. Who knows?
I don't know.
It says, can it reach speeds higher than a normal 5-inch?
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like it can. I mean, the end of your prop, once it hits a certain speed, it hits a wall. No matter what drone that you have, once it hits the sound barrier with the end of the prop, that's the wall. So every drone is like that. So it just depends on how fast you get the 5-inch. I'm not sure if adding more adds more speed to that or not. It seems like it would.
Well, it's more dictated by whatever RPM and the pitch of your prop and whatever it reaches, just because that's how fast your thrust column progresses. But you can definitely prop it up some and get some more speed out of it.
Now the original Octafairy TPU for the camera mount, it's pointed straight up. So that's why you seen on mine that I built my own, where you can have the camera tilt up and down on it. Because the original one, I put the original pod on mine, and it was like a 60-degree or something like that.
Yeah. Well, 533 ever sell custom trophies? I mean, like custom things, if you ever want a custom thing and you don't, like, you can't make it yourself and you know all of the stuff we have access to, like, just message me or talk to Skip. Skip is really good at getting on me to remind me to do something every 5 minutes.
Thanks, McFly, for every 5 minutes.
Well, but yeah, if you ever want us to make something custom, just contact us and we can do it. Like, it doesn't have to be something on the store. Like, we're people and we're part of the community and we're just ready to just make stuff, and we love making stuff.
Yeah, I do custom 3D prints all the time. Armando does them.
Yeah, and we have a laser, we have a CNC machine, we have just 3D printers. We can do all kinds of custom work.
McFly, thanks for the $20 super chat. And yes, I don't know if it was today. Might have been the last night that I was asking Skip for this race if he could print me up some quick trophies or something, laser cut something. Because
I can show Skip how to make pint glasses. Or we have the tall glasses, the Pilsner glasses. Like, if you have like a logo you want on it, we can put those on. I can show Skip how to make those.
I just need some. Normally, I've got the. You can't see it, but I've got the A1, the A1 Mini, and I normally print up the. Skip's give me a few designs, but just this week with everything going on, I
have trophy.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I've seen one of those. I won one of those. They're kind of hard to get them to stay together, but.
They fall apart.
Yeah. But, like, I noticed that at your tiny trainer races, you just had like a prop with just first place, laser etched on it and stuff like that. And people could do their base out of whatever they wanted to or something like that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
But,
because that's always like the last thing I remember as a race director. It's like, oh crap, we need trophies. And so it'll just be like some random thing that we throw together.
Are we going to continue the stock Octafairy frame after the one sells out?
Yeah, no, any frame can be ordered. And if there's interest in it, we'll always order more.
Right. Because it's just a matter of cutting some carbon, and those tubes are probably something you can purchase.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
it looks like it's time for me to go hang out with my wife.
All right.
Before we have to pass out.
Mondo, thank you so very
Oh
much.
yeah, no
for
problem.
coming.
This was fun.
And,
If you ever if you ever want me to hang out again, I'm more than happy to.
yeah, I appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you and Evan do for the hobby. Also, when it comes to, I'm Tiny Whoops. I love Tiny Whoops, but next is Tiny Trainer. If I could never fly anything but Tiny Whoops and Tiny Trainers again, I'll be happy. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at nowadays.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Mondo, for coming out. We're gonna Skip can continue answering questions about the.
Oh yeah, no, Skip knows everything.
Yes, and everybody. So
yes, he does.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, you guys have a good night. I'll see you.
Have a good night.
Great dude. Great dude. You work for there, Skip. I've got you pulled up on here.
Yeah, Armando's real knowledgeable about a lot of things, and I try to take some weight off of him by doing some stuff, but there's times that I'm like, dude, I can't handle this. You've got to look at it. Like, we got one in the other day. It was a hexacopter, gigantic drone, and I'm like, man, I've got to do builds, and this thing is I'm gonna have to research for a week to figure this thing out. So if you could just bust this thing out for me, that'd be great. And he did. He actually done his research and got it done. And I was quite surprised on how fast he got it done. Same with doing 3D prints. He can use Fusion 360 so easy. He makes it look like it's just him painting on a paint program or something.
Yeah. Did you see my comment there? I don't want to say that out loud because it's kind of funny.
No, she is diamond painting.
Diamond painting. I see her going back and forth, and I keep expecting her to put her head up and say, "Bingo!"
Now she's painting a picture. What are you painting, babe? Can we see it?
But the real question is she watching On Patrol live?
What are you watching? Yeah. Huh? First 48.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she watches those true crime shows. And
yeah, that's my sister does. I call it the Crazy Heifer Channel. To my sister. Not.
My wife watches all that too.
Yeah.
So if
She,
I end up
she's actually mad that I turned it off to turn on your stream, Marty.
Really?
if I end up dead one day and you don't know where to find me, then you know what happened.
Yeah. Well, it's like I tell people that wives are really interested in it. It's like, you wind up dead, dude, I'm not even going to say nothing. Because we won't find you, Yeah. We might later find out who ate you in a cookout, but, So, but yeah. So, what's new at 533, Skip? The octo thing?
What's new? So, Evan wrecked my quad, totally just destroyed it. And he said, let's do a review on it. Let's do a video on it. And I was like, all right. And he was line of sighting it, which is terrifying enough. But he's great with line of sighting. And then he was like, I've got to fly it in the goggles. And he started flying the goggles. And he's like, I've got to hit some gates. And I was like, it's done. Once he said gate, I knew
it's gone. Once he said gate.
Because that thing is just insane on how fast it turns and how fast it accelerates. I just knew you know, it was hard for me to just handle it in the yard, you know, because we're in a small subdivision, and I was just, you know, flying in the front yard. It's really something to just take out in the field and have fun. It's not. I wouldn't use it for any races or anything like that. It's just something to have fun.
Yeah.
Skip
was like,
what else
so-
we got new?
So when he said I've got to fly it in the goggles, you were like,
yeah,
right,
exactly.
just like that, right? And you know,
Yeah,
So-
I knew it was done with,
Right.
and but he pays for everything. He even said that he would fix it himself, and I said no, I'll take care of it because I'm kind of particular on how my drones are, and want it kind of perfect, you know, or as
Right.
perfect as it can get.
Right.
So we got another one coming up. It's called the Little Flipper.
yeah,
So
I know a little
it's,
bit about this, but go ahead.
It's so we have a 5-inch flip switch, and we wanted something smaller for freestyle, and our Mondos came up with the 3.5-inch flip switch. So you take the tiny trainer and the flip switch and put it together, and you got the little flipper. So you got the Tiny Trainer HD, which 3 to 4S, and 4S on that thing is just wicked.
Yeah.
That thing can fly really fast on 4S. And then when you put it together, you're taking the weight of the spec class out of it and put it into a light freestyle frame, and it makes it amazing.
Yeah. It sounds like it. Sounds like it is. Anybody got any more questions for Skip? Because there's a few things I want to show the chat, and we will. The first thing I want to show is only going to be about 2 minutes long. We'll come back to Skip. You guys stay there in the chat, if you will. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this. This is the what did I do? I'm always messing something up. There we go. We can see half the Skip. Let me move him over here so he doesn't look weird. Looking at you like some stalker or something. There he is, right above me. So this was filmed by my father-in-law. This is the first time we ever did it. We set up a float, if you will, for the homecoming parade in our little town. And this was the float. It seemed to get a ton of interest in the community. I think my analytics said 80, maybe 100 subscribers up or something like that. I just checked it quick on my phone, but here's a little preview of I don't know. I was flying my blue UWL, and I had two TVs on both sides. I don't know if you can see it. Two TVs on both sides. That was my FPV feed, and you can see there. If you watch close, you can see me fly through the. There's the kiddos from the church there out throwing out candy, and you watch close, you'll see me fly through the. There we go, through the gate there. People got to see it, and my mother there on her scooter said PhatPastor's mom. She got more likes, I guess, than I did. There was some teenage boys, or middle school boys, walked by after we were done with the float and all, and one of them was like, "Oh, that's the FPV or the drone float." We were taking it down so we could actually get back on the highway, and one of them was like, yeah, the coolest part of that was the granny on the red scooter with all the lights on it. So she
I
just
got
rode
a
her little.
question for you.
Yeah.
So how was flying it? Was it, did it make you dizzy or anything like that?
Several times.
Because I've flown before in a car, and we were going pretty fast, but it made me sick.
Mm-hmm. There's a video that I have on my channel that says HDzero makes me sick, and it's a kind of a thumb, what do they call it? When people put things on the thumbnail that hooks you or whatever, I forget what it's called. Clickbait. Because right underneath each HDzero makes me sick, there's real tiny letters that says while on a swing. So I went to a park and I laid down in one of those basket swings that look like a nest, and I'm talking to a buddy of mine on my Bluetooth while I'm flying, and oh my gosh, I thought I was going to throw up. Just swinging back and forth, and I'm powerlifting. And on the at the parade, which I've flown from a car, the thing that gets you is, one, I'm on a trailer that all it has is leaf springs, right? So anytime there was a pothole or something, the trailer's going to do this. We had all the kids up front and their mothers, most of them, and when they would move or something, the trailer would just sway. And if I'm several times when I was going right through those square tunnels, just going right through it, the car would hit a pothole or something, and in your mind, think about this the next time you're riding in a car. Watch yourself. Just literally watch yourself. You're watching when you come up to a curve, you'll notice that you'll lean into the curve a little bit. People do. They lean into the curve. They see the worst thing is speed bumps, especially on that trailer with just leaf springs. There were several times that I hit it. Went down a couple times. One time I literally went down. I was going from the front of the Jeep, and I hit right at the edge, and I went down in between the Jeep and the trailer. But luckily, the quad lands, camera up, and I see the tire rolling right at me. It was about 4 foot from me when I armed and took back off, and that one would have been a disaster. That would have been a total. And you have to be ready. That's why I flew the blue one most of the time instead of the 533 one with the V3 camera on it. I knew the V3 camera would give a better image. And all I did for the cameras is I took the HDzero screen, put it on a tripod, and had a powered I just said it somewhere. A powered HDMI splitter. A regular HDMI splitter is not going to do it. You need a USB power to get that signal to the TVs, and I had one on either side of it, and they worked fine. That one crash was the closest I've come to losing anything. I didn't hit any people, to the best of my knowledge. I did go down at a lady's feet, and we had a lot of marshals. That's why we had a lot of people walking around it. Some were carrying light-up hula hoops that I would zip through, and but one of the main reasons why we had quite a few people is we had it set up that the front of the Jeep was 12 o'clock, and if I yelled Marshal 3 o'clock, or if I yelled Marshal 12 o'clock, that was really get up there and get it. And I did run out of video. You know how HDzero, you drop below 3.0, and the video just goes rainbow screen. Maybe, hopefully in the future that'll go away. Yeah. So that one was, we had one time where it did it, but luckily I was 6 o'clock when it did it. And something like that. You can't do it by yourself. It takes a team of people to do it. We worked about 5 hours putting the quote float together, but we want to do it again at the Christmas parade and have multiple pilots and multiple screens for people to be able to see it. And it was not as nauseating as the swing. I knew I drove the route a few times, a few days leading up to it, so I knew the parts of the. Now, I didn't drive through the school. That's why the speed bumps through the school was like, please hit them slow because it really jacks with you. And but I knew the rough areas on the street and what parts of the street were smoother, and it went pretty good. They voted on the floats today. I haven't heard back because it was they voted and released the results at the high school pep rally because it was a homeschool, a homecoming parade, and nowadays they just don't let the public, even if you are a pastor, just don't let the public in to pep rallies and stuff where all the kids are gathered together, which is smart. I mean, they may have, possibly because of my father-in-law being the ex-vice principal there, they may have let me come in, but I didn't. I had too much stuff to do today, so I don't even know who won. But, a lot of the... So it's like a colored bedazzle. Bingo, she's done, right?
Bingo.
That's pretty. Do they click in or they glue down?
They're glued down, and they're like little jewels, little diamonds.
Yeah. I'm familiar with it. My daughter does lots of crafts and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Ask her if she can do me some blue jeans like that with PhatPastor on the butt.
Blue jeans? She said she could.
She could. So, yeah. But,
yeah, when I flew, the first time I ever had an experience with that is these guys wanted me to do freestyle, and at the playground they had one of those things you sit on and it spins. And I sit on it and they spun me around, and I could have swore they were just going as fast as they could possibly go. But when I looked back at the video, they wasn't really going that fast. But
right.
And then I decided I was going to do a long range video, but kind of cheat it a little bit by not actually doing long range, but being in the car and just going down the road on top of the mountain on Parkway in Tennessee. And so it was early in the morning. Nobody was on the road, or there was nobody out at all. And we went, and the speed limit's 45, and Carter was going 55, 60, and I'm like, dude, slow down. I'm not only having trouble keeping up with you in my DJI FPV, but you're making me sick.
Right.
And he's like, well, we're almost at the pull off. Just hang on a few more minutes. I'm like, roll down the window. I'm feeling nauseous. I said, you got to really slow down.
Well, and one thing that helped, that I'll say is a difference is, I've done it several times flying, and the better higher latency or lower latency HDzero cameras that I have, the better. Because what you have to do is you have to learn, like I said, when you're riding in a car, seriously think about how your body's reacting to when it sees a curve coming up, or even braking. When you're braking, you'll tense up, and everybody in the car, unless they're like a baby or something, they all know to keep their self from going forward unless somebody just slams on the brake. But you got to be ready for that too in a parade, because kids run out and will risk their life for a Snickers bar. And so you drive the track, and you know, I was constantly going up and down, so I'm looking at the road, and I'm paying attention to the people and trying to hit the gates when there's more people so they can see it going through. But one of the things that I'm also looking at, I'm looking at the road. When you see a turn coming up, and I know that the Jeep's about to turn, I get it in my brain, okay, I'm about to go right. I'm about to go right. So I would set the drone up, the quad up, in a situation that once the van started to turn right, and I felt that feeling, I'd make the quad turn right too. And when you can match in your eyes, you know, when I made that video about swinging with HDzero, my doctor in town had seen it, showed it to him, and he was like, "That's why God puts your eyes so close to your ears, and your inner ear, you know, because they're actually connected with several nerve endings, and you know, when your eyes see the stop coming or the bump or the speed bump coming, it's preparing your body, preparing your equilibrium not to go what." And so if you're flying straight and the car turns and your vision is seeing just straight flying, then you're like, oh, and it literally does make you like have vertigo. And you know, so it's a way to do it. And I don't recommend. I do recommend people doing parades in their community. Do it. Go out there, let people see this. If I heard it one time, I literally heard it 1,000 times. And I'm not joking. This is a small town. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Look, where's the pilot? You know, and of course people, they were pointing, people walking and they were pointing them out, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. You know, because most people out there, guys, when you say drones, they think DJI.
Yeah.
Or they think the Predator drone that Obama used to kill all of those terrorists. And, you know, and we have to show them. And so many, we told the people walking the race we're having Saturdays, open to the public, come on out and watch. And so, yeah, it's like anything else, you know, all of this publicity that we're getting, and from what I understand, Congress has just passed the DJI ban. Somebody sent me a thing that was the other day. So
yeah, it went from the House and now it's going to the Senate.
Okay, and looks like it's gonna go bipartisan pretty quickly. So,
you think it's going to go through?
I do because there's too much. There's too much money. I hope it don't. I hope that it don't. But you know, it's if it's not our job, the people who are in the hobby and flying, if it's not our job to be ambassadors of FPV and drone, then whose job is it?
Right.
You know, we're not getting paid. You know, yeah, I just got a $20 super chat, and I'm grateful for that, and it helps the channel. And as Skip can tell you, he's been there. I got a ton of crap. You know, it's a lot of stuff to get to be able to set up and fully run a timed video race. But like Mondo said, you don't have to have that. Go ahead.
I'd done a price thing when I was doing my races. I'd done a budget to see how much I spent, like per race, like throughout a season. Mm-hmm. And I figured up that at the very least it was $300 a race at the very least. Mm-hmm. And it went all the way up to $600 a race. And you know, you don't ever see that back. But the cool thing is some of the stuff you have for the next race. So
yeah, you build upon it. Like this one, you will see at least one dynamic UWL item in this race kit, but there was none last time. Skip's probably like, oh, crap. I mean, It's. I don't think this one's bad. I have two, but I don't think I'm going to get the other one ready by then. One of them has to do with black lights.
That makes your race a little bit better than most races is you have HDzero and analog together. That HDzero VRX makes it totally worth having watching your race because there's not a lot of people that can see analog and HDzero at the same time, and that's something really valuable about your races, I think.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. As you know, Skip's there. He's there early, and he's helping us. Skip and C King here. They and Mark, Mary, and Richard. I think between and Skip's wife. I'm sorry, I keep Jamie.
Yeah.
Yes. That those 6 people really just. I said, "Here's the gates, guys. I've got to get timing going and all of that." And so they built the track, and it was we had an element in the 65 millimeter track that some people wanted to keep. It was a dive gate that was just like a death hole for some people. And we had the worm tunnel, and we had a dive gate, and there was discussion between which one do we get rid of. We took it to a vote. One of them we took it out, and the other one stayed. And we had a really good time, and I cannot express enough. I know a lot of the viewers here, they're not within traveling distance to one of the races, either that Skip's having or Evan and Mondo's having, I'm having, or Z King and Middle Tennessee's having. But if you can get there, just go. Even if you don't know how to fly, even if you don't fly well, just go. For one, we have beginners. If you go back just a few months ago on my stream, the sport class race ended up being the winner of that. Ended up being the person who made it the furthest from the launch ramp. The closest to the first gate. And then it was like, how we race at church, can you make it out of the back room? And now they're just like hitting gates. They're flying all over, and they were at the gym, which both courses had 2-story or at least 1-story up and down changes in the course. It just wasn't a flat 1-story, one gymnasium. We went up on the second level in both of them and then come back down. And they were like, "Oh, I almost got a lap done before it timed out." I was like, "That's good. That's really good for somebody that's only been flying a couple months."
My first race, I built a tiny trainer the night before, and I thought I was going to be decent because I was running a 5-inch whoop through gates, and it felt totally different. And then I flew that one and just rolled all over the floor and didn't do really that good. And then they had an HD race, and I flew my Avata and actually won first place on that on the same day on my first race.
Now, wasn't it your Avata? Wasn't it your Avata at the next race that? I don't know if the next race, but later that Sean Ames blew it into pieces with a.
The funny thing is they just got done talking about that on Ken Herron's show.
Yeah.
So what happened is they mixed the Avatas with the Tiny Trainer HDs, and the Tiny Trainer HDs would just blow away the Avatas, and so we were running a race, and I told Evan, I was like, "Do you think maybe the Avatas should just run separate from the Tiny Trainer HDs?" And he's like, "Oh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine." And I was like, "All right." So I went through the start-finish gate, and Sean Ames hit me so hard that parts just went flying everywhere. And I was like, "Oh no!" And he felt so bad. He felt so terrible. and offered to pay for it right there. And I was like, no, it's, I signed up for this race and put my Avata in it, and I was not expecting to come out with my Avata flying. So
Yeah, that's racing. That's people ask me, well, why do you have like 3 or 4 of every quad that you rate? Because one, when I'm not literally under the goggles, I'm running the race and running the audio, running the timers, doing all of that stuff. And this last race, because the gym that we fly at, it's not a carpeted floor. It's not even a wooden basketball court floor. It is a sealed, painted concrete floor. And when you drop out of a worm tunnel from the second story and land on your lid like I did, it crushed my frame.
Oh, is it concrete?
It is concrete. Solid concrete floors. Yep. Painted concrete. And it's unforgiving, but you can turtle, maybe, if it don't slide around. I ended up taking, and I don't know if other people did you ever see anybody else take that advice? I took some welder or some E6000. I put it up on top of my canopy so that when it would grab, because it would just slide. You get upside down, you go to, and it just slides. So I put some of that on it, and it got to where it would turtle, and then I broke it. So I left the glue out for everybody. Like, listen, if you can't turtle, just throw some of this up on top of your canopy. And I don't know if people did, because I think you and Z King are both like, wait, that would add 0.2 of a gram to my quad, and I just spent 4 hours getting 0.3 of a quad of an ounce off my quad. So no, me, I fly fat whoops, so I didn't care. So
yeah. Speaking of that, we're going to be coming up with a whoop for, I believe, Black Friday. And what the idea is we want to take all of the best parts that we can possibly get, and we're like talking to everybody in the FPV community. I mean the Whoop community. You, Z King, a bunch of people, and finding out what they want on their dream drone. And we're going to try to make the lightest drone and make everything that everybody wants into one drone, and come out with it on Black Friday. So be looking.
Sounds like it. I bet on the HDzero, the Tiny Trainer HD with the 1 watt HDzero on it on Black Friday. I was like, yes, I got to have it. And I've only flown it twice since then. I love it. It flies great. Evan flew the thing like it was. I was going to tell Mondo, and I got distracted. I think my phone, my microphone was dying. I've still got the quad. I handed Evan my 5-inch quad. I built it, Mamba, stack, all this kind of stuff. Now this was 2019, 2018 maybe. It was definitely before COVID. And I did what a lot of noobs do. They go to one of the faster pilots on the thing and say, hey, fly my quad, let me know what you think. And he flew it for about 10 seconds, says, well, can I change the rates to, and then he landed it and changed the rates to 533. And then he run it through that track, and I'd never seen my quad fly like that. I was like, man, look at that go. My quad has got to be great. Look at that. I mean, he's just zipping through it and all of that. And I thought, well, it's not as fast as he is. I can tell that. And maybe he's taking it a little bit easy. And he brought it in and he landed it. And I said, so what'd you think? Is it any good? And he goes, no. Handed it back to me. I said, well, what's wrong? It's too much. So I was like, okay. So I still got that quad. I don't know that it's a 5-inch. I have no, right now I have no intentions of 5-inch racing, but yeah, I think I'm going to hang on to that one just because Evan said it was not good at all. I did my best. I went through the tune. I did everything. Man, I thought that thing was the bee's knees, and he was just like, no.
So
Yeah.
I thought about doing something with Evan, and I was thinking about just building something strange that you'd never do with a drone, and make Evan blindly fly it, not knowing what I've done to it, and just get his opinion on it, and then reveal it to him after I have his opinion.
I've often wondered, because I'm sure I asked him. I said, "People ask you that quite a bit." He said, "Yeah, you'd be surprised how many times I've been asked, to fly people's squads." There's part of me that wonders if we blindfolded him, put him in a set of goggles, and took that same drone, which I've not changed it. I ain't done a thing to it since then. Dusted it a few times. Hadn't changed anything about it. Let him fly it again. And, of course, that's old. Man, I've not even updated the beta flight on it. I ain't done nothing to it since then. I wonder if he'd be like, "Oh, I remember this squad. Huh. This is PhatPastor squad. This is PhatPastor squad." You probably would. I might send it to you and have you blind test him and make you a little short video or something over it, and see if he can, because it had I think it's got Cobra motors on it. Remember when Cobra motors were good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cobra motors used to be great, and then like a year or so later, everybody had them on sale like $5 a motor. So the technology just left them behind. But yeah, it was great. So
I've got one more thing I could talk about, and it's the Light Switch HD.
Okay.
So we have the Switchback HD, and I'll just be honest with you, I don't build most of the frames. Most of the frames are built by Brody, and he builds the frames, puts the motors on them, and he packs the order. So when I get them, the frame is usually there, and sometimes the motors are on there. So when he builds the Switchback HD, that's one he really hates to build, um, because you have to file the arms and sand it and do all this work to it just to get it together. And once you get it together and everything, it's a great frame, and it's easy to deal with.
Mhm.
But something to do with the tolerances have changed over time,
Mhm.
and we've decided we're just going to do a whole new platform and do the Light Switch HD, because the Light Switch HD is a whole lot easier to put together. It's going to be a smaller form factor. It's going to be a whole lot lighter, and you still get enough room to put HD on your 5-inch drone.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool, man. I'd be interested to see.
Sounds like a new freestyle build to me.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. So, all right. Anybody got any questions for Skip? Or anything else? Just checking and making sure my condenser mic is not dead.
Yeah, I've got to go do some practice. I got a whoop race this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be different this time. I'm definitely going to be watching to make sure that CAC is on. That not just CAC is on, is that the RPM limiter is on. And today, for the sake of an upcoming review, I believe I killed a couple of lava batteries, but got a whole new set. These are ready for the
You
race.
seem to go through batteries all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's part of whoop racing. I mean if you got a set of batteries that last you 2 whoop seasons, then it's probably you got good use out of it.
I seem like I get 1 or 2 good races out of it.
Well, and racing them is another. Um, every one of those, which I gave a few of them away, but I had some of the tattoos. I think we traded props and stuff for it. Every one of those, but one of them is toast. They didn't take it. I don't know what Beta FPV's doing with the lavas, but they hold up pretty good. They seem to be holding up better than the Tiny Whoop and the Dogcom batteries. My Dogcom batteries, I got some of those at probably April or something like that, and most of them are puffed and on my bench, waiting to. I just charge them and use them to test stuff, and yeah, for me right now the lava's working, and I do know that the 550s give you quite a bit of more flight time on the, but you can't use them in UWL. You got to have the 450s, but they give you quite a bit more flight time on the UWLs. So I like them pretty good. They work out all right. So thanks, Skip, for coming on tonight and asking everybody's questions. You guys,
Thank you for having me.
you guys, tell us before you go what days again your live streams are. Yeah.
So Skipper's Carter shows, we're trying to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes it's really hectic in the shop and we're trying to get things out and we're not able to do it. But we're trying to do them in the afternoon between 12 and 4 is when we'll start. And be looking for it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
At what time? 12 between.
So it's Eastern Standard Time. We'll either start from 12 to 4. If you don't see us by 4 o'clock, we're probably not going to start.
Okay. All right.
We would like to do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we just have sometimes we get just overloaded with everything and can't.
All right. Well, thanks, Skip, and thank you for coming out, guys. Jump on over there, and that's on. Is that 533 or Evan Turner's channel?
That's on Heads Up FPV.
Heads Up FPV. If you haven't subscribed to that, what's wrong with you? You should go over there and support them. I don't get to watch it live a lot because, like Mondo was asking, during the day. I'm constantly telling people, like my wife, my mother, and different ones, hang on, I got another phone call. Let me call you back. Because, it's just my phone blows up all day long. So I do get to go back and watch it and all. And, it was cool to meet Brody and the other guys. I think that's their names. The taller black-headed guys that come in,
Yeah.
I noticed you introduced them the other night and all of that. So, well, thanks a lot, Skip, for coming out. And I will see you bright and early Saturday morning.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
Take care, brother.
Have a good night, brother.
Good night.
See you, man.
See ya.
Yep. Anybody else in Discord got anything you want to say before I
before I cut the Discord loose. Anyone else? All right, guys. I'm gonna switch out of that screen and back to this one. So yeah, a lot going on here in Sulky and Middle Tennessee drone racing. I'm shifting around. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here's this close-up still of the parade, float vehicle, whatever you want to call it. These are nothing's glued on or taped onto my Jeep. These are actually white pool noodles with rare earth neodymium magnets on it that's holding them on. And now the cube up here up top, I've got the little luggage rack, and that's a little power bank thing that's running all of the lights. We were going to have 2 TVs sitting up on the back playing the live stream, but we ended up having issues with the live stream. Yeah, I had a EcoFlow power inverter in the back that powered all of the trailer and all. And you know, you can just, I don't know if I can, yeah, I can zoom in, I think. I don't know what that is, but I have no idea. Well, I don't think I can pan around on it like I thought I could, but maybe I can zoom in a little bit and move it to show you guys. Well, there I am. I don't know who it was. Somebody was sitting up there. This was a smooth part, but I know during the parade, someone was like, I don't know what this is, because we wasn't able to use the right thumbnail that I planned to, but someone was like, I don't know what this is, but something like all hail your king or something like that. This is cool. But this race is coming up Saturday. Is Middle Tennessee Drone Racing and Soki together. We're putting this on. There is a $10 landing fee. That it's possible we're going to have somebody provide sandwiches and stuff like that for people that want to eat that. And the venue itself cost us, so hopefully we can at least recover the cost of the venue back. And yeah, we had a good time. Digital there is driving, and you know, we had several people out walking. Jonathan and Chelsea Roth, she was 7 months pregnant, walking the parade, and Richard and Audrey was holding up gates. Aiden was there to help marshal, and my niece right there, she just had surgery today. Right here, she doing good last I heard, and we had 4 little guys, ranging from 5 to 2 or 3. They were throwing candy out, and it was just a good time. And I recommend you doing it in your area. If you've got a group of people that fly together and you want it to grow and you want people to know, I think it's a great way to be an ambassador for the hobby and show people that it's not, you know, it's not dangerous. It's not bad or anything like that. So yeah, and if you I was going to do mail call, but I'm not. I'm just going to show you here. I had some things come in. I got some new batteries. I got this little lighter and antenna by TBS. Another one of those. I think I've ordered 2 of those before. And this came in the mail this week, and I got it taped up because I can't reveal the details on it. But stay tuned. Stay tuned on the channel because you're going to see something about this. And if you are a member, hopefully by the time you get up in the morning, there should be something for you, a little teaser. I am not breaking an NDA. I will not do that. Carl is just a great guy, and I have no intentions of doing that. So, but a little closer look maybe. I know Ryan did that. He's I think it's the last video in his stream is, or not his stream, but on his channel, he's flying quads, whoops, with HDzero AIOs. So you can go on there and he'll show you a little bit there. So have your money ready. You know, offer to clean out the garage. You know, offer to wax the wife's car, something like that. And because you're going to want what's coming out. I can tell you, you are. I'm excited. I'm glad I got a chance to fly it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing off here now. I want to thank everybody for all of your chats. I want to thank for your super chats. I want to thank every member of the channel. You might not know it, but your membership does a whole lot. It goes a whole lot into helping us be able to do what we're doing. And, you know, I want to thank all of y'all. Without the community, you know, it wouldn't be worth doing a live stream. So without the community, it's nothing. Thank every one of you. I hope you have a great weekend. And if you're not a member, remember it. I don't even know how to gift memberships. Let me see if I can. I don't even know if I can gift a membership. Let me see. What am I doing? I'm trying. Give me a second. Let me look at the analytics. I don't think there's very many people on right now. I think most of them jumped over to. Still got several of you, so it's surprising. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Kind words, brother. Kind words. Yep. Thank you, brother. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Where do you even go to do it? Hang on. I'm looking. I can see OG.
You click the little money icon next to the emoji symbol in the chat, in the live chat window.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find. There we are.
And that will bring up gifting, membership gifting.
You click. Not on my phone. I got super chat and super stickers.
Oh, and right under that, it should say membership gifting.
I can't
On the computer,
see.
though. Okay. That's why.
See on mine. It's probably because I'm the. Probably because it's my channel. You know.
Probably
I can't.
why.
I can't do it. So I don't know. I would gift out some memberships to people if I could, but
I would too if I could afford it. It
yeah.
starts at $2.99 and goes up to $149.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. I can
Starts
buy
at
50
$2.99 and
memberships
goes
for
up to
$149.
$149. You mean $149?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I could buy 50 memberships for $149, 20 for $59, 10 for $29, 5 memberships for $14, or 1 membership for $3.
Skydozer says
So,
it's good to hear you, brother. Yeah,
hey,
it won't
thank
let me. It
you.
won't let me gift that, but
And
yeah.
it's good to have you, brother.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap this thing up tonight because I got some quick editing to do on a little short type thing.
I
It's
can't
gonna
wait.
come out pretty soon, and thank you guys.
Good night.
Love all of you guys. Wherever you're at, let's do it. And whatever you're doing, remember to keep flying and rise up and meet me in the air. Now I can't reach the mouse. Go into the outro.